These 10 trends for 2023 will set you up for success as a print-on-demand seller with terms and themes that shoppers will be searching for. This is the annual trend report from one of the world's top search engines and the #1 destination for inspirational searches, Pinterest. For context, Pinterest Predicts helps you plan to succeed, and if you are a print-on-demand seller, there are a lot of great ideas and opportunities to run with here. In fact, Pinterest says, we know what's next. For the last 3 years, 80% of our report predictions came true. This isn't another year-end trend report. This is a not yet trending report, a window into the future from the place where people go to plan it. Let's look forward to 2023. So let's take a look. There's a lot of ideas here, and they can be filtered by audience. So you can look at different demographics like boomers and Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, brand values like authenticity, connection, creativity, self-improvement, sustainability, etc., as well as categories. So there's entertainment and fashion, financial services, pets, food and bev, hobbies and interests, home, etc. And here's a quick look at some of the ideas, and we'll dive right into a couple of my favorites that I think are particularly noteworthy for print-on-demand sellers who will be looking to create things for 2023. Number 1 I wanted to highlight is called Now Processing, and it's basically seeing a lot of people exploring alternatives to talk therapy, particularly Gen Z and millennials. So they're exploring things like art and music therapy, as well as art journaling, and people are looking for new and creative ways to work on themselves. And some of the terms that Pinterest has identified as trending or will be trending include writing therapy, expressive art therapy activities, music therapy, and journal writing prompts therapy, and art journal therapy. So those are some things to consider, especially if you are wanting to create a workbook or a digital download, perhaps a prompted journal, an art therapy sketchbook with prompts, or a self-care planner of some kind. And Pinterest has identified what's really pushing this is a desire for more mental well-being beyond traditional talk therapy. So people want creative outlets to support themselves. Number 2 is called Rust Married, and it's all about this cozy copper, terracotta, burnt sienna color, and people are really interested in this in particular for their weddings. So again, this is driven by millennials and Gen X, and this is a more popular color than the traditional kind of pastels that we're seeing. For anything from floral arrangements to bridesmaids dresses. So this is going to be a really hot color, and it's something to keep in mind if you're creating things like wedding invitations or place cards, planners, wedding guest books, or wedding guest book alternatives, because this is the color that people are looking for, looking to incorporate into their wedding decor or their wedding color scheme. So these are some of the terms that are coming up as identified by Pinterest: burnt orange wedding theme, terracotta wedding bridesmaid dresses, orange wedding centerpieces, or copper saris. And Pinterest says that this trend is really driven by a desire for optimism and adventure and creativity, and this color is really being incorporated into weddings as an alternative to the more traditional colors. Number 3 is called Beyond Blue and Pink, and this is all about gender-neutral parenting, particularly driven by Gen Z and millennials, and they're breaking down the binary as they raise the next generation. So they're looking for things like pronoun flashcards and gender flags and all sorts of gender-neutral decor. So Pinterest has identified things like personal pronoun flashcards as something that people are looking for, my self activities for kids, self-identity art, and gender flags. Pinterest sees that this movement is being shaped by society becoming more inclusive and more accepting, and parents are looking for new ways to open up conversations about gender diversity, self-expression, and pronouns. Number 4 is mushrooms, and this is all about weirdcore and kind of a psychedelic revival by Gen Z and boomers, kind of going back to like weird mushroom psychedelic fantasy art and just playing with a lot of pattern and color in their spaces. So the things that people are looking for are things like fantasy mushroom art, vintage mushroom decor, funky house decor, weird core bedroom, which I thought was a pretty interesting term to include. Perhaps you're creating decor or some kind of prints or poster art, or maybe even some weird t-shirts, and that could be something fun to explore, as well as DIY mushroom decor. Pinterest saw that people really needed new ways to express themselves, creativity during the lockdowns, so they were really turning their personal spaces into creative dens with new aesthetics and experimental maximalist decor that expressed themselves in different ways. This next one is called Pool Parties, and it's really all about Gen X and boomers spoiling their pets like children and throwing them these lavish parties, just like they would for a child. So these are parties for dogs, and people are looking for DIY dog areas in backyard, perhaps decor, DIY dog pool, dog birthday party ideas and decor, and dog party favors, mini pool ideas, and I'm sure invitations falls into this category as well. And yeah, Pinterest really is seeing that Gen X and boomers are treating their fur babies like their own children. Next up, we have the YOLO years, and this is all about boomers and Gen X planning these big parties for major milestones like 100 birthday parties and 50th anniversaries, which are definitely things to celebrate. So people are looking for things like 100th birthday party ideas and golden anniversary parties, 50th anniversary cookies. That's kind of outside of the realm of print on demand, but there's plenty of products that you could create around these ideas, these big major milestone life events, as well as 80th birthday party decorations and silver jubilee celebration items. So this is a great opportunity for things like invitations, guest books, etc. And Pinterest says that this really comes as a response to the pandemic being a time that was really difficult and isolating, and a lot of people went without seeing their families and friends and without celebrating, and now this is really being reversed and people are making up for lost time with big celebrations. The fourth trimester is a trend that's all about helping parents or parents helping themselves really support themselves right after having a new baby. So people are looking for things like easy postpartum meals and gifts and essentials. And this would be a really great opportunity to create things like self-care journals or workbooks or planners, or maybe fitness planners to help people kind of nourish themselves in a new way, or albums, like memory books to help them really cherish the very first few days and months with their new one, their new family, or baby guest books, things like that. There's a lot of ideas you can work with here. Next one is called Date Different, and it's really being spurred on by Gen Z looking for different kinds of dating experiences, particularly experiential ones that go beyond the standard date at a coffee shop kind of a thing. So people are looking for things like bookstore dates, date picnic ideas, creative date night ideas, aquarium dates, museum dates, etc. So this would be a really great opportunity to create perhaps a bucket list journal for couples who need inspiring date ideas, or whether they're a single person looking to really wow their date, or perhaps a couple that's been together for a while that just wants to rekindle the romance. The next one is called Cha-Ching Challenge, and I thought this was really interesting because it's all about finance, but making it fun and gamifying finances so that things like budgeting and saving actually become more entertaining. So there's all these terms that are coming up, like the 1,000 Savings Challenge, bi-weekly savings challenge, budget challenge, envelope challenge savings, 100 envelope challenge. So there's really an opportunity to create all sorts of challenge books or checklists or planners or trackers or logbooks to help people progress along their goals and keep track of their progress along the way. This is being spurred on by the rising cost of global living, so money management is becoming more important than ever across all age groups. And lastly, we've got good on paper, and this is a trend that's really seeing people of all ages returning to simple paper crafts, whether that's quilling or origami or paper art, and it really satisfies their need to craft and continue out activities in a really low-tech way. So people are searching for things like how to make paper rings, origami instructions, paper mache furniture, which seems quite ambitious, as well as quilling art and paper animals. So there's a lot of things you could do here, perhaps create digital download resources or how-to guides, things that people can cut out really easily to satisfy their want to work with tangible materials and then have something created as a result of that. Pinterest knows that people are looking for a way to digital detox and kind of turn off their brains from the stresses of the world. And this also kind of ties back into the very first trend that we looked at, and where people are looking to find creative, therapeutic ways to explore themselves. I hope these trends will help you to get some great ideas going that align with what shoppers are looking for in 2023, and I wish you much success in the year ahead, whether you are selling on Etsy or Redbubble or Amazon merch, or you're publishing low content books on Amazon KDP, which is why I started this channel. So if you're interested in looking at the other trends Pinterest has identified for 2023, I'll put the link for Pinterest Predicts in the description. If you found value in this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more tips and tutorials about generating passive income online. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.